I would not be standing here today if it was not for the community that I have. So I personally want to say some thank yous. Thank you, Camilla. Thank you, Marlise. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Q. Thank you, Amy. And thank you, Albert. Those of you that are not here, you know who you are. And I'm standing here smiling because of you. And thank you, Andy and Elizabeth with Inspired Leaders. Inspired Leaders is a platform, it's an opportunity, and it's a community of people who are receiving coaching and inspiration from individuals that have been through the fire. When my friend Marlise asked me to apply to be a speaker, I knew exactly what I was going to speak on. But y'all, God had other plans. This is my pain journey. Going through a broken marriage, becoming a single mom to 4 children under 10, and a terrifying story of survival. A lot of people get on this stage and they tell of how they have overcame their pain to purpose. I am in the overcoming. This is Faith Under Fire. I'm still way in the fire, you guys. And my story isn't over. And so to preface what I'm about to tell you, I need to take you somewhere first. So let's go back to 2019. I want you to close your eyes. You've just gotten home from church on Sunday. You're fired up from the sermon. You just had your wonderful lunch and you're really looking forward to that afternoon nap. You go and lay down, you drift asleep. You wake up groggy, you grab your phone, and it's Tuesday morning. You can open your eyes now. Y'all, that was my life. Later in 2019, I found myself on the back of an ambulance, wishing I could disappear. This would be the first of many times that I would be sent home with no answers. Quickly, my health, physical, and cognitive function deteriorated rapidly. I would be walking and I would fall flat on my face. Drinking my hot cup of coffee in the morning and the glass would shatter to the ground. I couldn't stand to do dishes because 1 minute of standing, my blood pressure would go through the roof and put me at severe risk. I had to cut all my hair off because I could not lift my arms to wash my hair. I found myself sleeping for hours and sometimes even days if any level of energy was exerted. So by the end of 2019, I'm walker dependent, I'm bedridden, I'm utilizing home health services. Y'all, I was on a liquid diet because I couldn't chew or swallow whole foods. My speech was very difficult most days. I sounded like I was drunk because my facial muscles had begun to disconnect because of the stress on my nervous system. I'm in the fire. I feel like my body is on fire. So I'm grasping at straws. Life has to be better than this, right? I didn't want to live on 25 pills a day and a hope that I would be awake long enough to simply hug my children. So I began to utilize our community, people that are sitting in this room. I was a frequent flyer at Blissful Waters Float Center, Dr. Tiffany with Vibe Acupuncture. I was using the mortar method on myself and herbal remedies with success. And then in spring break of 2020, when the world was falling apart, mine was about to shift into place. So I'm lying in bed, scrolling on Facebook, looking for something, anything that could possibly get me out of this hole of sickness, sadness, and hell that I had found myself in. I was getting more sick and more miserable. This will be the only time I will say, thank you, Maida, Facebook, for listening into my personal life. I came across a Facebook ad for $7. So they're going, okay, I have $7. I have nothing left to lose. I can do $7. That $7 led to a pre-recorded audio for 7 minutes. I listened to that 7-minute audio, like, okay. Then I started getting emails, and I hopped on a group coaching call for 45 minutes. I was like, whew, okay, I feel different. What was this? So I hop on a private phone conversation with the coach that led the call. Y'all, I felt a shift for real. Now I knew this was different. I said, sign me up. I have to learn how to do this. I have got to. And that's what I did. God gave me a tool that would forever change the trajectory of my life. And as I was leaning into and utilizing this method, I began to let go of limiting core beliefs, journaling my progress, and recognizing it with gratitude. I didn't just stand up one day out of bed and go walk to the mailbox. I had to recognize when I stood up out of bed and I didn't need to balance myself so I wouldn't fall flat over. So within 6 weeks of learning subconscious reprogramming and the releasing of the emotions that were making me sick, destroying my nervous system, my immune system, and all my systems, I got better, and I got better fast. I was off 25 pills a day. I started kickboxing. I was homeschooling my 3 children, and I launched my business. Because if God gave me this tool that transformed my physical being, I had to share it with the world. But first, I would like to dive deeper into the why and how. Let's talk trauma. Y'all, I wasn't raised with trauma. At least I didn't think I was. But as I began to study and work with the subconscious programming and unconscious mind, I realized it wasn't that simple. What is trauma anyways? Is it abuse? An accident? Divorce? Death? We see there are many ways that trauma shows up in the mind and the body. It begins to hijack the nervous system and creates these signals that we usually don't even notice. Sometimes small things, like bullying or the stress of a job, it compounds over time, and your body feels like it has gone through war. Some of you guys are probably pretty broken, going, how did I get here? I wasn't like this 2 years ago. I haven't gone through anything major. Or maybe you haven't faced it yet. I want you to pull out your phones and feel free to take a picture, because you might resonate with what's coming. In trauma work, these are the 5 main imprints. Let me walk you through them. Rejection. Yes. Shame. Right? Abandonment. And this 4th pillar is actually 2 combined. The absence of love and the absence of presence. Someone can be there for you, but not love you the way you need. Or they can be truly absent from your life. Many of these have a lot of crossover. And as you think of each, you might start activating some emotions, or you might even be reliving some memories. Has anyone here, aligned with anything on this slide? Yes? Anyone else? It's okay to be vulnerable. Me too. I'm still on all the pillars, and I didn't grow up with trauma. So why do I see my life all over this slide? Trauma's superpower is the ability to pierce time. What happened in the past is living in your present, and it is hijacking your future. Your body doesn't know the difference between perceived trauma and real trauma. In fact, your brain can easily play tricks on you. The simplest loss or numerous moments unfelt, and unprocessed can feel like so much more. Well, guess what? We're just a program. It's just like a computer. But is your trauma and those things still hijacking your future? The brain can be retrained. Beliefs of what happened can be shifted. That doesn't mean we change what happened, but these memories of grief, of sorrow, they can be changed to gratitude and joy even. But the body, you can't trick the body. It remembers everything. That's one of the main reasons I got sick, and why it is so important to process and release our traumas, our emotions, our feelings, and lean into those change of beliefs. We have to stop asking ourselves what is wrong with us and start asking what happened to us. It's our responsibility to move forward through it. We all have to take responsibility in our suffering. No one is fully innocent in life, and we can either choose to be a victim, we can choose to be a victor. We have and are given free will. So at this point, 2 years in to my coaching business, utilizing everything we just learned on those slides, moving, man, I'm kicking ass, taking names. I am queen of the world. I am running multiple business models. I'd built up to consistent 5-figure months. I was going on luxury work trips. I was training leaders and practitioners globally. I was even offered ownership of a global company. Man, on paper, business and life were good. They were more than great. By the way, great photo, right? Thank you, Bexwood. This is also, unfortunately, what intense and debilitating pain looks like. Beauty on the surface and dying on the inside. But as I'm sitting here for this photo shoot, I realize I didn't even want my wedding ring on. It had fallen apart so fast that at this point, my children were acting out, my marriage was in the toilet. There was a lot of yelling, a lot of violence from everyone. After another violent night, I made up my mind. It's over. I'm done. I packed up my suitcases the next morning. I'm not sure where did I mention I have 4 children? We're gonna go. I could always do it. I could always handle it myself. But working harder was not getting me anywhere this time. So I literally ran. We lasted 3 days at my parents' house. 3. And here I am again, in the fire. You're probably thinking to yourself, after all of that, what could be next? Just wait. So I move in with a friend for 4 months. We probably almost put her in her early grave, but I knew I needed something more for the kids and she was willing to help. Now here I am, literally being forced to shut down my businesses due to divorce details. I have no income coming in. How the heck am I going to convince someone to rent me a home? But God. Somehow I managed to get my own place. Literally everything is covered. But God. Yes. Furniture, clothes, kitchenware, everything. I paid for a TV. I didn't have access to our home, by the way, my childhood home. That's right. I grew up in that home. We started over. I digress. My community and my friends helped in ways that I could not even imagine. But here I am, burning, still burning in the fire. We are now dealing with moments where I was seriously scared in my own home. I'm in the fire. Y'all, there was a lot of violence. Everyone is having a difficult time adjusting. I'm in the fire. There was a minimum of 5 CPS investigations. I'm in the fire. Calling the police and mental health professionals to protect my children for their safety. I am in the fire. My 9-year-old daughter was taken by ambulance and police escort, and later that week admitted to a psych hospital. I'm in the fire. My son attempted suicide. This was the last time, this was in July, that I can remember stillness even till today. We were truly happy in this moment. I had come to this beautiful place of peace. But since the beginning of August to now, the same amount of hell, the same amount of unrest, the same amount of uncertainty and sheer terror combined that I had felt my entire life exploded in 1 month. 1 month. We were deeper in the fire than ever before. Court appearances, police calls, detectives meeting with my children, lots of sleepless nights, and honestly, the most darkest and horrifying moments I've ever experienced. Now, there's even more, but I legally cannot give you details. So I'm going to tell you how it made me feel. I've been terrified. I've been resentful. I've been beyond the point of exhaustion. Some nights it was like hell had just opened up in my home. I'm angry for the pain and confusion my children have felt and are feeling. And I am disbelief that my life looks like a true crime show. I don't know what I'm going to do. Have you ever been in a moment where you cannot see the forest through the trees? Yeah, I was there. And I hadn't realized it yet, but my faith was being tested for a purpose. So 4 months ago, I didn't even know the gravity of what was about to come, the maximum potential of my faith. And I had the people holding me up and bringing me back into gratitude when I could not even get a sentence out. In this time, I learned the full meaning of faith, full surrender. And I mean full surrender. You remove expectations of problems solved because your tools and timing are probably not going to be that of God's tools and timing. That's what real surrender is. He moves mountains, but many times, though, he does his best work in the valley or the fire. So think about this. Would you like to get on an airplane that had never been tested? Would you like to have a doctor do surgery on you that didn't pass the test in medical school? Probably not. So what do when you are so far in the fire that you cannot see past the flames? Friends, you find faith. Yes. And at this point, reading my Bible, and God gave me this message to go look at Malachi 3. He is described as a refiner. And Malachi says, he will sit as a refiner and a purifier of silver. It is this beautiful picture of what God does in our lives when we are going through the trials. And a refiner's finer, it melts down a precious metal like silver or gold, and it's hot until it's this hot liquid form, and it's allowing all the impurities to come up to the surface. As the refiner carefully skims off the impurities, all that remains is this pure, shining metal. Just as the refiner removes impurities, God is at work in our lives. Yes. And in this fire, God allows us to walk through it. It doesn't burn, it transforms. In that fire, he draws out things that are holding us back, things we might not even see ourselves. Old fears, lingering doubts, unhealed wounds. He transforms them, replacing them with qualities like strength, resilience, and grace. So if you find yourself in the fire, know that it's not without purpose. He knows the strength that he is building and being formed in you. I want you to hold on, though. Hold on. Because what lies on that other side is a whole new version of you, one with strength, beauty, and tools you never knew you needed. Friends, your faith will be tested. And when your faith is tested, it will be refined and it will grow. There are many days that I've wanted to give up. I remember very clearly holding my steering wheel at Woodlands Parkway. I didn't want to go on. I was done. I want you to take a second and dig deep in your soul. Have you been there? Are you there now? I'm here to tell you, we all have those days, but I refuse to give in to my circumstances. My friend Amy decided to document my prayers. This was her list. Oh, this isn't even everything. This is actually what I can show you. The power in the subconscious brain of pen to paper is transforming. And seeing through my tools and my community and support that everything is happening for my good. Some of these prayers were answered in moments. Some the next day. Some took longer. But they were always answered. Yes. I mean, here we are. Prayer, answer. Prayer, answer. Prayer, answer. I needed this. I needed to see this writing in my life of the transformation. Even in childhood, I did not know a faith like this. And here it was in front of my face. God did not bring me this far to leave me. What he started, he is going to finish. God doesn't give us just what we want. He gives us what we need. And he is not a God of just enough. He had been preparing me this whole time. The really wild thing, this is what I do for a living. How could I know I am even good at what I do without being truly tested? Most people could have not gone through the things I have just gone through without completely falling apart. Can't believe I'm saying this, but thank you, Meta, for that Facebook ad. I help people see this. How beautiful is it to realize that this time, all of this time, I was being refined. That now I can rise up better and serve people like I was created to do. The tools, the people, the resources enabled me not only to survive, but to thrive while I was in the fire. I am here now with a newfound strength and gratitude for life's blessings and the beauty with even more tools for when people are in the fire. Guys, subconscious programming and personal growth, you've got to let go of your limiting beliefs. It is possible. They've been placed there as a self-protection from your past traumas and your life experiences. Like we saw in the previous slides, everything we've been through, it defines who we become. But that can be changed. You can do this. You can shift your mindset, rebuild neural pathways by breath work, meditation, therapy, journaling, Having a coach to hold you capable. Even more important is gratitude. Are you recognizing when God moves with gratitude? Utilizing prayer and meditation. Standing up as a victor and making a plan to heal your heart. That happens through forgiveness of yourself and others, followed with love. You control your focus, you control your attitude. Because a bad attitude is just like a flat tire. You're not going anywhere until you change it. Expressing gratitude for life's blessings, it really can be simple. It's deeply personal, it's beautiful, and the simplest words can carry the most profound feelings. And community. Utilize your community, the resources, church, friends, and networking opportunities to grow your family, because that's what we are. On Maslow's hierarchy of needs and thousands of other studies, we know that connection and community is imperative for human growth. This community has been my family, my support. All those people I thanked started in networking. So I want you to look around. Who are you supporting? What God has been doing in this past year, this past 4 or 5 years, has been truly extraordinary. I have been able to see growth from the fire, and I am grateful for it. My faith is burning inside me, and God had this plan all along. I am like a phoenix rising from the ashes, and I have emerged a new woman. So today, inspired leaders, I challenge you to see, what have your fires done for you? We don't just come out stronger. We come out with new tools, new wisdom, and we become equipped with empathy, with patience, and the ability to help others walking through their own flames. God isn't just refining us for our own sake. He is preparing us to be a light, a helping hand, to help somebody in their own fire. So I encourage you to let go. Your time is now. You have incredible gifts to serve and love. Stand up, step up, and make your move. Someone needs you and what you have to offer. No, life is happening for you. And when you believe that, you change your story. Thank you.
Jenn Marie, thank you for sharing that story, sharing your story. When we first started Inspire Leaders, a lot of our speakers the first couple of months were very technical. It's like we brought speakers in to give like coaching and things. And we had this wonderful paradigm shift at Inspire Leaders that we needed stories of grit, perseverance, and success. Because it's one thing to revel in and celebrate the successes, because we want that, right? We need that. But we also need to hear how you got there, what you're going through, what you have gone through, the stories of grit and perseverance. So Jenn, thank you so much for sharing your story of grit, perseverance, and success. So every second Friday of the month, come a hurricane, come an ice storm, come a death in the family, every second Friday of the month is Inspired Leaders Day. So please mark that on your calendar. December 13th is the next Inspired Leaders Day. We're going to have a wonderful speaker. His name is Sean Barnes. He's been here several times. Many of you know him. So please come back on December 13th. Bring a friend, bring a bunch of friends, fill this place up, support Sean. Thank you all so much for being here. Have a great weekend.